Good evening, everybody. I'm Miss Kaplan, and I am going to share with you one of my favorite books, and it's called The Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing. And if you have a little brother or sister, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, Judy Blume wrote it, and she illustrated it, and I'm going to share with you chapter 1. And if you have perfect attendance, you too could win this book. So this chapter is called The Big Winner, and wait till you find out what Peter wins. I won Gibble at Jimmy Fargo's birthday party. All the other guys got to take home goldfish in little plastic bags. I won them because I guessed that there were 348 jelly beans in Mrs. Fargo's jar. Really, there were 423, she told us later. Still, my guess was the closest. Peter Warren Hatcher is the big winner, Mrs. Fargo announced. And at first I felt bad because I didn't get a goldfish too. And then Jimmy handed me a glass bowl, and inside it there were 3 rocks and some water, and a tiny green turtle was sleeping on the biggest rock. All the other guys looked at the goldfish. I knew what they were thinking. They wished that they could have a tiny green turtle too. I named him Dribble while I was walking home from Jimmy's party. I lived at 25 West 68th Street. It's an old apartment building, but it's got one of the best elevators in New York City. There are mirrors all around, and you can see yourself from every single angle. You can also see yourself from the sitting down. Sorry. There are mirrors all around, and you can see yourself from every angle. There's a soft cushioned bench to sit on if you're too tired to stand, and the elevator's operator name is Henry. He lets us call us Henry because his last name's too hard to say. Our apartment's on the 12th floor, but I don't have to tell Henry. He already knows. He knows everybody in the building. He is that smart. He knows that I'm 9 and I'm in the 4th grade. I showed him Dribble right away. I just won him at a birthday party, I said. Henry smiled. Oh, your mother's going to be real surprised. Henry was right. My mother was really surprised. Her mouth opened when I said, Look what I won at Jimmy Fargo's birthday party. I held up my tiny green turtle. I already named him, Mom. Dribble. Isn't that a great name for a turtle? My mother made a face. I don't like the way he smells, she said. What do you mean? I asked. I put my nose right down close to him. I didn't smell anything but turtle. So Dribble smelled like a turtle, I thought. Well, he's supposed to. He's a turtle. And I'm not going to take care of him either, my mother said. Of course you're not, I said. He's my turtle, and I'm going to be the one who takes care of him. You're going to change his water, and you're going to clean his bowl and feed him and all of that, she asked. Yeah, I said, and even more, I'm going to see and make sure that he is happy. This time my mother made a funny noise, like, ugh. I went into my bedroom and I put Dribble on top of my dresser. I tried to pet him and tell him that he would be happy living with me, but it really isn't that easy to pet a turtle. They aren't very soft or furry, and they don't lick you or anything. Still, I had my very own pet at last. Later, when I sat down at the dinner table, my mother said, I smell turtle. Peter, go scrub your hands. Some people might think that my mother is the biggest problem I have. She doesn't like turtles, and she's always telling me to scrub my hands. That doesn't mean just run them under water. Scrub means I am supposed to use soap and rub my hands together. Then I've got to rinse and dry them. I ought to know by now. I've heard it enough. But my mother isn't my biggest problem either. Neither is my father. He spends a lot of time watching commercials on TV. That's because he's in the advertising business. These days, his favorite commercial is the one about Juicio. He wrote it himself. And the president of the Juicio company liked it so much that he sent my father a whole crate of Juicio. And it's a combination of oranges and pineapples and grapefruits, bananas and pears. And if you want to know the truth, I really am getting sick of drinking Juicio. But Juicio isn't my biggest problem either. My biggest problem is my brother, Farley Drexel Hatcher. He is 2.5 years old, and everybody calls him Fudge. I feel really sorry for him if he's going to grow up with a name like Fudge, but I don't say a word, and it's none of my business. Fudge is always in my way. He messes up everything he sees, and when he gets mad, he throws himself flat on the floor and screams. And he kicks. and he bangs his fists. The only time I really like him is when he's sleeping. He sucks 4 fingers on his left hand and makes this cool slurping noise. When Fudge saw Dribble, he said, "Oh, zee!" And I said, "That's my turtle. Mine. Get it? Do not touch him." Fudge said, "No touch." And then he laughed like crazy. So if you want to find out more about what happens to Peter and Fudge, make sure you're here every day so you can win this book.